I was out doing my morning walkthrough and I noticed an explosion of nutsedge in my neighbor's yard. Now what I also noticed is that this is the border between my neighbor and my yard, and there's no nutsedge. Now nutsedge is pretty easy to identify because it's a lime green color and it grows much taller and much quicker than your regular turf. Now you do have a couple other options for identifying nutsedge. You could take it to your local extension office and they can help you identify it, or you can use this cool little app right here called Picture This. Can prodiamine prevent nutsedge? So I decided to do a little bit of research as to whether there is a pre-emergent out there to prevent nutsedge. And from what I found, no, there is not. Now, for prevention, we found that there's not a whole lot we can do. The one thing that you can do, though, is make sure you have a thick, healthy turf, and that will help fight off most weeds. Now, I actually have this Sedgehammer, and I've used it this morning because I have an ongoing issue with nutsedge in my backyard. Now, the backyard is not as thick as the front and the side, so it all makes sense to me. But what I did this morning was that I mixed in 1 gallon of water 0.9 grams of the Sedgehammer and a half a teaspoon of the Simple Lawn Solution Surfactant, and I spot sprayed the backyard. You always want to check the label for instructions of the product that you decide to use to treat your nutsedge. Now, in my case, I went with the Sedgehammer, and the recommendations included not to mow 2 hours prior or 2 hours after application, and to let this sit on the grass for at least 4 hours prior to any type of irrigation or watering. Now, it does say if you have rain in the forecast, hold off on using this. A few things about nutsedge that I really want to make sure I share with you. One is that there is a yellow nutsedge and there's a purple. So there are some products out there that only treat the yellow. So be careful when you're selecting a product. The other thing about nutsedge is that you do not ever want to pull nutsedge because they have these nodules on the bottom that when you pull them up, those stay in the ground and it just spreads and makes it much worse. The other thing is when you actually go to spray the nutsedge, make sure it's a little tall and it has a few blades on it before you spray it. So basically, don't spray it too soon. You want to let it grow out, spray it, and the instructions tell you that as well. If you read the label that's in the product that you choose, it's gonna tell you some of these same things that I'm telling you now, but I did want to bring those to your attention if you intend to spray nutsedge. I hope I was able to answer some of your questions about nutsedge. I sure did answer a lot of my own. Thank you for stopping by, and I will see you in the next video.